Joplin Schools Board of Education meeting to order. Roll call, Mrs. Russo.
Present.
Present.
Present. If you would, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Get up from this chair. Please. Of the United States of America. Me wouldn't work. Please, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
I entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented, please.
Second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Sherrick, a second by Mr. Robertson to approve the agenda as presented. Any further discussion on this item? Hearing none, please vote.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, the agenda is approved. Board President's Report, celebrations. Dr. Saketo, could you hand me the celebrations, please? Thank you. I think I have good eyesight, but I don't think I have that great of eyesight. Teacher Proud Tuesday winner, Monica Bay. Monica teaches first grade at Jefferson Elementary and has been in the district for the past 25 years, embodying what a Joplin Schools is all about, learning today for a better tomorrow. The parent who nominated Monica had plenty to say about the generous impact she made in her students' lives. Monica goes above and beyond for her kids. She has started a scholarship for the kids who came out of Jefferson Elementary. Monica used to keep my child after school a couple of times a week to work on her reading and math. Monica also used to talk to my youngest in the car pickup line because she knew my youngest had a hard time talking during preschool. She'd have a question for her daily to answer, just to get her to talk. She is also a very positive person when it comes to self-love. She taught my child to have faith in herself when she didn't believe it. Monica has done amazing things for both of my girls, and she deserves to win Teacher Proud Tuesday. Congratulations to Monica Bay. Congratulations to the East Middle School Quiz Bowl teams. In a recent science tournament, Team A, including Isaac Eckert, Bo Simon, Maddie Clemens, and James Pym, placed second, and Team B, including Evie Clark, Robbie Cornett, and Fox Dillahay, placed third. We are so proud of the way you're representing your school and the district, and good luck as the season continues. A shout out to the Building and Grounds crew. Thank you to the Building and Grounds crew this week as they battle wind, snow, and brutally cold temperatures to clean up after Mother Nature. While the covered side roads didn't allow schools to open last week, we appreciate the hard work of all our facility crews to take great care of all our spaces all week long. They cleared 4.45 miles of sidewalk and 53.4 acres of parking lots and driveways in below freezing temperatures. Thank you for all your work. Happy School Counselor Week, February 3rd through 7th, 2025. Joplin Schools celebrated the incredible work done by our school counselors during School Counselors Week. Whether they were teaching skills for personal growth, providing resources for families, or guiding students through long-term academic goal planning, these individuals are loved in every part of our mission at Joplin Schools and play a vital role to keep our students learning today for a better tomorrow. Career and Technical Education Week. During the Career and Technical Education Week, we recognize the many successes, certifications, and industry partnerships our students have access to at Franklin Technology Center at JHS. Our students are able to explore construction, botany, auto tech, welding, health services, culinary arts, and other options. They can join FFA, DECA, FBLA, Skills USA, or other career and technical student organizations. And they can take advantage of internships, job shadowing, or apprenticeships. Whichever path they choose, it all leads to a lucrative, in-demand, and fulfilling work in their futures. Flower Power Champions going to state. 3 of our baking and pastry and culinary arts students are heading to the State Skills USA competition to show off their culinary skills after placing in the district competition. The state qualifiers are Jaden Luck, first place baking, Cade Shaw, second place baking, Kylie Prather, first place culinary. Congratulations. The first 100 days of school celebration. Many of our schools celebrated the first 100 days of the school year on February 5th. They are much older, smarter, and stronger Eagles than when they started the school year. It's such a fun way to celebrate this milestone in the school year. We're so excited to see what we'll be able to showcase next month in March for all of our Eagles. Student Advisor Report, Ms. Ransdell.
Many students in the JHS FBLA Club competed in a variety of business events, including business communications, broadcast journalism, business law, and public speaking, some of which qualified for the state competition. These students will compete again in April to qualify for nationals. Winter homecoming. The Joplin Eagles had their winter homecoming crowning and game. Cooper Williams and Ava Schaefer were named homecoming king and queen. The Eagles won their game against Neosho after going into double overtime and ending the game with a buzzer beater. Missouri Junior Science and Humanities Symposium. On Friday, students competed at the Missouri Junior Science and Humanities Symposium. 30 students were selected based on scientific papers to be oral presenters prior to the competition. Hannah Sargent, Sr., and Ethan Hamilton, Jr. were part of these finalists. Other students competed in the poster competition. Out of 30 posters, Ty Matheson placed in the top 2, earning a place as an alternate to the national competition. As this is a really early competition for the science research team, we are happy with the results. Congratulations to all participants.
Thank you. Policy Committee, Mr. Robertson.
The policy committee met earlier this month to discuss 11 new policies that the Missouri School Board Association recommended we make. The first one had to do with school board ballot issues and changes about how school board ballot issues. The next one, there were changes about closed meetings requests, academic calendar information, how we treat part-time staff and student absenteeisms, and I think are they on for a first reading this time? So
Yes.
yeah, so it was a good meeting. It went quick, and well, not quick. It was 11 options that the state has come in and said we need to make some changes. So we are.
Good updates for the district. Thank you. Safety report, Dr. Harding.
Yes, and I'll actually let Ms. Schroeder participate in this because she was at the safety meeting and it always provides a lot of great feedback for us.
Very good.
Thank you, Dr. Harding. Yes, I'm going to go over the items, the essential items that we talked about and at the meeting. And the first thing was related to our visitor and emergency management system. We are currently having, we currently have RFQs out, and there are a team of tech secretaries and principals reviewing different demos. We are looking at grants and other funding solutions, and hopefully our new system will be implemented by August of 2025. The next thing we discussed was transportation, and a very positive thing is that we are fully staffed at this moment. We have the new camera system is operational, and transportation will be meeting with the principals to train them during the coming weeks. We also discussed a decision-making process when canceling school due to weather-related transportation. It was kind of a timely discussion to have because we had the snow the next week. Next part of our meeting went over access control, and Dr. Harding said that it's been going very well. Big cost saving, as I can talk, big cost saving over keys, lost keys and so on. The fobs have really made a difference there. They have discovered that there are some additional doors that will need to be added this summer. And overall, it's working really, really well the way it was supposed to. Last part of the meeting discussed the elementary school radio update. And administration has met with elementary principals. There is a large discrepancy between the elementaries regarding need and amount of radios per building. And that's something that administration will be balancing out to look at what's essential. Administration is looking at, as I said, the possible solutions for buildings that is fair and equitable. There's big costs for the radios, and so making sure that the purchase is the right purchase. And the last thing, there are two goals that Dr. Harding and Mr. Hounshell have had this year related to fiscal year 25. And first was prepare a comprehensive guide for the position of Director of Safety and Security. And that's something that Mr. Hounshell, he has completed that. And then second has been to develop a plan for updating the elementary school radios. And this is something that Mr. Hounshell wants to make sure that we have in place before he retires. And I jokingly said, well, if we don't have it in place, he can't retire, correct? Maybe. I don't know. We would have to ask Dr. Crawford if that's okay, if we can do that one. I'm not sure. But that's in the safety meeting. Safety meetings are always a lot of information, a lot of things going on, and much of our capital outlay is related to safety. And that's something that we don't always think about, and you don't always think about when we're looking at that. But Safety Committee and our administration do a great job with that.
I would like to add, thank you, Ms. Schroeder, as well, but I'd like to add, I had an opportunity to view the radios that are being piloted, and I think that Mr. Weaver and Ms. Sherrick as well saw those when we were at one of our school visits. And those are they really seem to be working well in the pilot. They seem to be in a situation where there's security, one-way communication, and that the whole building is not necessarily involved. And that's, I think, helpful probably if there, heaven forbid, ever was an instance where there was somebody that we didn't want in the building. So that sounds like a great option. And those radios, I look forward to really seeing those radios brought to us and making a decision for that, because they seem indestructible too. They were dropped in front of us, and they said that they work very well in that sense. So that was really neat to watch, and thanks for your work on Safety Committee. Superintendent Data Report, Dr. Saketa.
Okay, this month's strategic focus has to do with our district counseling program. As you know, February 3rd through February 7th was National School Counselors Week, and so Dr. Pattison, I'll let you take it over.
We are lucky to have our three counselor leads here with us this evening. Janelle Harding represents elementary counselors, Julia Nerrell represents our middle school, and Jennifer Hancock our high school, and they have a presentation for you tonight.
Thank you very much for having us. Counselors feel very valued and very supported in our district, and we are happy to be here with you tonight. We don't have to tell you what a large role counselors play, because from your communication with us, we, again, feel so supported and have had meaningful conversations with many of you about the things that we want to see and the things that we need. And we're just excited to serve a very diverse population here in many different ways. If you followed Janelle and Julia and Jennifer, your name has to start with a J to be here on this little group tonight. But if you were to follow each of us around, you would see that we do very, very different things from one another. And we do very, very different things throughout the day. So we're going to move deeper into this presentation to show you, to highlight some of the things that we do. School counselors in general, we'll go over that tonight, what we do in general, and then talk about the different impacts we can make. And we'll begin with elementary.
All right, for elementary, I picked about 7 items that I really feel encompass. And I would say that number 5 is probably, at least at the elementary level, probably one of the most important. Early intervention. When you think of elementary, think of how much they grow between kindergarten and 5th grade. You know, you're going from age 5 to up to 11. That's a lot of growth. And so we want to support them in their discovery of so much. So that includes their emotional support, their social skills, conflict resolution, effective communication with both their peers and their adults. we help them in their academic support and needs. Crisis intervention. We don't often think about this in the elementary level, but it does occur. And so having the ability to make kids feel safe and secure while they're in our buildings is huge. Because sometimes what's going on in their outside world isn't feeling that. And so if we can bring in a sense of safety and support, that's important. Like I said, early intervention, promoting positive school environments. And then I really like number 7 as well, strengthening their mental health. And that includes helping them to manage stress and to just build their emotional intelligence capacity. So we do some really amazing things. We'll do small group counseling lessons in the elementary setting. We do monthly. Some counselors are fortunate enough to do weekly lessons. So we get in with those kids daily. And so it's really important. We'll do, like I said, one-on-one counseling. We do some group counseling, crisis intervention, responsive services. So lots of great things going on in our counseling department.
Does this move? Okay. My part of this is talking about obviously middle school and then how we are working with attendance other than the information that you guys all know about. So I have a couple of slides here that you can see. Here's one. And so with this slide, and then can you go ahead and jump to the next slide so I can see if it's the right, not the right one. Go to the one after that, that one. So those two are supposed to be together. So that's why I wanted to know who the clicker was. And frankly, for the sake of you and I, and for Dr. Harding especially, I have scripted this out so I do not take all your time. And that's going to be the best for all of us. So what I've done with these two slides is I've tried to incorporate the one key thing that I feel like me as a middle school counselor and then our other 2 middle school counselors really have to have a good skill or do well. And that is effective communication. And so that is at the heart of all good school counselors, I believe. So whether we're working directly with students, engaging with families, collaborating with staff, or analyzing data, strong communication skills do ensure that attendance issues are addressed with empathy, efficiency, and collaboration. When counselors foster open and supportive dialogue, they help create a school culture where students all feel valued and motivated to attend school regularly. And so one of the things that we have to work with are understanding the students' struggles, and that's on part of the slide as well. There's lots of reasons why kids do not attend school. They have personal challenges. They have lots of anxiety, we all know, disengagement of some sort, and then there's a myriad of external factors. A counselor's role is to provide safe, judgment-free space where students feel comfortable opening up to us. This requires lots of active listening, and that's truly hearing what's going on with students. Always validating their emotions, all the emotions, especially that a middle school student has, and letting them know that their struggles are very real and they're important. And of course, we offer lots of guidance, and that is trying to help students find solutions rather than just pointing out the problems. So as we do this with compassion and understanding, and then hopefully that will motivate kids to attend school. The second part of this is partnering with parents and having really good communication skills with parents. Now, as we know, kids face challenges. So many of our parents face challenges as well that contribute to these attendance issues. Instead of placing blame, good school counselors partner with families and find solutions together, which include communicating with warmth and respect so parents feel supported and not judged. Focusing on solutions, helping families overcome barriers. And one of the biggest barriers as far as middle school is literally a simple thing called morning routines. And so many parents do not have established good morning routines. And so that's another thing that I do a lot of, is trying to get that going. And also we have to build trust and ensure parents view us as allies and not enemies. Okay, so when counselors approach all this with unconditional positive regard, we create a team-based approach where everyone is working towards the student's success. Also, we do lots of collaborating with school staff. We work with teachers to identify attendance barriers, We collaborate with administrators daily on attendance initiatives and coordinating with all of the different ancillary services like social workers, outside counselors and therapists, nurses, the school nurses, resource officers. So we do whatever we can to communicate with whoever we need to communicate with to address all these underlying issues that contribute to attendance. And one of our big things, and something that I really, really take pride in at South Middle School, is we like to create a culture of support. And that's another thing. I've been here for 26 years, and I love it. I love it because I've created that culture of support. And when you have families that go through our system, and then their kids go through the system, and you get to know them, you get to celebrate, you know, their joys and their sorrows and everything, and you know their kids, and it is almost like extended family. So with that, we use our compassion, our empathy, and literally an unwavering belief that no matter what their challenges are, all students can be successful. So, in conclusion, at its core, school counseling is about helping students feel seen, heard, and supported. Strong communication skills make this possible by encouraging understanding between students, families, and staff. We lead with empathy, respect, and collaboration. So counselors play a critical role in creating a school culture where all students want to be present, feel engaged, and successful. So that's a summary of our 2 slides. And like I said, I do think I love the fact of the consistency that I've been there as long as I have, and I've gotten to know that school, like really, like I said, an extended part of family. So thank you. Your turn.
Our goal at the high school is to take the baton from the middle school and grow these students into productive citizens. And that looks many different ways, but I pulled out 4 of the key things that we do as high school counselors. We really hone in on their academic abilities and specifically where their strengths and weaknesses lie, and assist students with planning for the future, and again, helping kids identify where they need extra help and how to get that help, and listen well to their goals and track their progress to those goals. We talk about transitions a lot in high school, transitioning from grade to grade, transitioning from this chapter of life to the next, transitioning from a middle school chapter of life to a high school chapter of life. But we spend a lot of time talking about that step out of high school. So we assist students with college applications and scholarship applications. We spend a lot of time helping students explore different career options and finding out what they're interested in, what they're not interested in. But what I get most excited about is presenting all the opportunities that lie before them. Joplin, Missouri is a great place to be, and specifically Joplin Schools is a great place to be if you want it to be made clear to you how many open doors there are ahead of you and what you're capable of and what you could step into. If I move down to the green box, we're on the same slide. Sorry. I have different color boxes, sorry. Again, I touched on that earlier. We help students figure out what they are good at, what they're interested in. We do that finishing but not completely finished work of promoting positive behavior. We also work on stress management and balancing life and morning routines. We are still working on morning routines when they're in high school, but they're nearly adults, and they take some of the ownership on themselves as they grow into adulthood. And then at the high school, we, for the most part, offer short-term, solution-based, solution-focused counseling techniques. We do triage counseling and do the best we can to get them back in a good headspace and sent back to class. We do appreciate the presence of mental health counselors in our building for those students who need sustained counseling over months and years even. But we teach coping strategies, stress management. We do a little bit of work on mediating conflict, and we have tremendous support from our administrators in mediating conflict as well. And now we can jump ahead a couple of slides to Janelle. Do you want to do the next one? Okay.
All right. These are just a list of just a few of our partners in education. And I think counselors have a really cool job because we get to work with all of these people, from the community to the school to parents. Shout out to Bright Futures. I know that we as counselors use Bright Futures a lot for basic needs for our kids. So shout out to them. Our local mental health agencies, law enforcement, children's division, juvenile office, social workers. We love Parent Square. That's another great communication device for our families. And we have started in the past couple of years our Joplin Schools Counselor Advisory. So thank you to Mr. Weaver for being our board representative for that. And we meet biannually and just kind of touch base on where we're at, what are our needs, what is it looking like. So that's been a great addition, I think, to us. So I do have to give a quick shout out to our staff. They are truly our eyes and ears as counselors. From a paraprofessional who may notice that child has worn the same outfit 3 days in a row, to the cafeteria worker who notices maybe a child's not eating their normal amount, little things like that. It truly takes a village for these kids, and we just get to be the lucky ones to help really support that. But we could not do it without our staff that get to be our eyes and ears. And so we're very grateful for that.
Okay, and then I wanted to touch on what we do. I mentioned a couple of times that we help kids step from this chapter of life to the very next. And I just highlighted a few throughout the year. Largely, it focuses on our upperclassmen. You all know about the VIEW Scholarship Program, where students, where students find out how much scholarship money they have access to based on their merits. And then I can't give enough credit to Mrs. Jessica Holt. You see her pictured in that left picture, but she also gets credit for the monthly updates that she sends out to seniors every month. Parents appreciate that. Staff appreciates that. Students appreciate that. She just lets them know what's coming, what you don't want to miss. She also maintains our scholarship bulletin each month, and it's just a tremendous asset in our department. You all are aware of the Career Academy model. It's very explicitly taking students and helping them to see forward, helping them to know what they're what they're good at, what they're interested in, what they're not interested in, and it walks them down a path towards something that they can move towards so that they leave high school with something valuable, a meaningful experience that has connected them to the community. And there's been hours and hours and hours of work put into that, and I am so very excited to see where it's going. That takes kids into adulthood and into the next chapter of life. We make sure that our students have the opportunity to take a number of assessments. They feel like tests to kids, but they're actually very, very valuable tools that we use. The Work Keys assessment is sponsored by ACT. Again, it measures kids' abilities in the work area. It's nothing but helpful toward kids. The ASVAB we give to every student. We give every student the opportunity to take that, and it's got a career interest inventory in it. And then the ACT is still valuable. I wanted to touch base with Mrs. Bowman this morning to see how many kids we've had take the ACT this year. Today was extremely busy at Joplin High School in the counseling department as we are in the throes of letting kids pick their classes for next year. And so though she works in an office right next to mine, I did not get to ask her that, but we do still have students taking the ACT, and that is a tool that students use to move on to the next chapter. We, again, have appreciated being here tonight, and that is the end of our portion of this presentation.
Thank you very much, ladies, and appreciate the entire counseling staff in the district and what they do. Thank you.
I wanted to say counselors are the heart of our schools, and they just showed that.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Toft.
On the health and dental report, we're now through 7 months of the year, and our expenses were $4,537,565 and a little bit of change, which is about 55.8% of our budget. If you were kind of looking at our monthly activity summary, you'll notice that our expenses were only $317,250 this month, which is the lowest we've seen since September of 2022. But that was mainly caused because of the Optum RX refund of $270,870, but still that was a welcome change to our health fund this month. Any questions? Okay, moving on to the financial statements. This month, we did see the bulk of our collection of our local tax money. So we ended the month with our local revenue of a little over 52 million, which was up like 46 million from last month. The local taxes that we collected were 37 million for the December and January together. They're down a little bit from this time last year, just like 1%. You remember that our assessed valuation basically did not change much from the prior year. Hopefully we'll continue to see collections with delinquent taxes in the next months. We did move 23 million over to MOSIP and some short-term investments to try to keep some interest earnings coming into the district. Any questions on the financial statements?
Have you seen rates start to creep down yet?
They did, but they actually kind of stabilized and they've gone up just a little bit of last month or so. So that's a good thing. But you will notice like our overall rates we were over like 5.4. Now we're down. Our top rate is 5.1% of the investments that we have out there.
Thank you. Public comments, Ms. Worsler. I entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda, please.
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Weaver. And his second from Ms. Schroeder to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any further discussion on this item? Hearing none, please vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Regular agenda, accounts payable, Ms. Toft.
Our bill list for tonight is $4,922,163.11. Compared to a year ago, it was $12,972,000. We had two monthly payrolls, and last year at this time, we didn't have any payrolls that fell into this bill cycle. Any questions?
Move for approval of our accounts payable as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Sherrick, a second by Ms. Schroeder to approve our accounts payables presented. Any discussion on this item? Please vote.
Yes.
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 Yes. Policy updates, Dr. Saketa.
As Mr. Robertson discussed earlier, we had about 11 policies to discuss, and they're ranging from different areas of the policy manual, from support staff leaves to virtual courses, closed meetings, academic calendar, school board ballot issues, student absences, suicide awareness and prevention, and compulsory and part-time attendance. And if there's no other questions, I would recommend that the board approve all these policies for a first reading.
I have a question. I don't know if it's related to the policy in general about school, the number of days we've been out of school so far.
Is it in regards to these policies?
Well, the policy about the number of days we have to be in school, didn't it change?
So for the incentive for teacher pay, it's 169 days. And the hours didn't change, but we have to be in school for the minimum number of hours, which is 1,044 and 169 days. And right now, without having any more snow days or something kind of a day that causes us not to have school, we're right on track to get that. Is that right, Miss Dr. Mwangi?
We're a municipality of 30,000 or more, so we actually by law are required to have 169 days. That was part of a new legislative update.
Yes, that's correct.
I move that we approve first reading of the policies presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Weaver, a second by Mr. Robertson to approve the first reading of the policies as presented. Any further discussion on this item? Hearing none, please vote.
Yes.
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 Yes, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
We have a motion by Ms. Schroeder, second by Mr. Robertson for adjournment. Is there any further comments this evening? Hearing none, please vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, thank you so much, everybody.